I'm well.
Good deal.
How have you been, Alvin?
I've been good, sir. Very good. I can't complain. Still another day above ground. Always good.
I'm well. Amen. I've
Good
been
deal.
missing in action
How have
for
you
quite a
been,
while
Alvin?
because
I've been good,
I
sir.
get busy
Very
and
good. I can't
when
complain.
the meeting
Still
was every
another
week,
day above
it
ground.
sat on my
Always
calendar.
good.
I'm well. Amen. I've
Yeah.
been missing in action.
Yeah, like I hardly climb stairs, let alone a mountain.
Yeah, it was yeah, I would agree with you. I should have done that at 40.
Yeah.
About 30 plus years too late to be doing that sort of thing. Yeah, I would agree with you. I should have done that at 40.
Yeah.
About 30 plus years too late to be doing that sort of thing. Yeah, I would agree with you. I have an echo. I should have done that at 40.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. I'm trying to be tricky and eliminate the echo here. Let's try that again. Nope, I still have an echo. How am I going to get rid of that sucker? I'm trying to be tricky and eliminate the echo here. Let's try that again. Nope, I still have an echo. How am I going to get rid of that sucker? I'm trying to be tricky and eliminate the echo here. Let's try
There's
that
a
again.
glitch in the
Nope, I
matrix.
still have an echo. There is a definitely. How am I going to get rid of that sucker? I'm trying to be. All right, let's see if that works.
Go.
Echo.
Oklahoma.
I think it's working.
I think it's working. I hope so. All right, now let me try to get some feedback from the. Miguel, are you monitoring our YouTube channel?
No, I'm not. I only have one iPad. I'm on my iPad.
All right. Sometimes I know that you've let's see here.
YouTube.
I'm trying to get the our audience to help us out here with this.
I think it's just maybe it's
I'll put YouTube on my TV so I can see.
Oh, see, I was too tricky for my own good there. I had muted myself. I said, John, good morning. John Brandt, good to see you.
Dave.
Da, 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 da. Okay, so my microphone is on. I can't hear any echoing. It's good on your side?
Sounds clear.
Good
Yeah.
on
Okay,
our end.
there.
Sounds
I've
great.
just asked the, Rich says, I'm waiting on the discussions. Well, okay. It's like, stop messing about. Let's get to it. We will. Here, I'll do this. I'll get us good and officially started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone all around the world, wherever you may be, on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in between, and of course overseas, all those places that are far and far away. It is Saturday. It is 11 a.m. Okay, let me be great. It is 11:03 a.m. in Seattle, and that means it's time for the weekly or the bi-weekly Virtual Pipe Club. And I'm joined here today by a bunch of fine people. Let me see if I can just give you guys a sense of who they are. That's not how it's supposed to look. Let me see if I can do something about that. Just bring them into focus here.
Hey, everybody.
There we go. See, there's some fine people. That's our Canadian contingent there.
Sorry, eh?
He's on his way back from Tim Hortons. He's going to be giving us the recipe to poutine a little bit later, and then I'm joined by all of these other fine people, including David Martinez, because for once we're not talking about pipes, we're talking about pipe tobacco.
Not because of that. It's because there is no soccer game today.
Oh, it's because there's no soccer game. Well, there you go. So at least we know how to schedule these things. Maybe
I just say soccer. I should say football, but I don't want to insult your intelligence because you will attack me with American forward rugby or something called like that.
Yes. Well, this is a gringo-centric group here, most likely. So you might be right about that. So as you can see, we have a very lively group of people here, and we're joined by some folks over there on the internets, Facebook and YouTube and wherever else. I mean, anyway, it's going to be a great day today. We have a special guest. We have a special guest speaker, John Brandt, of Wilke Tobaccos. And for those of you who don't know, Wilke Tobaccos is a 150-year-old company. So truly a piece of American heritage when it comes to pipes and pipe smoking. So we're going to learn a lot about that today. In the past few meetings, I've noticed that some of the folks over there on who are watching online are a little bit hesitant to ask questions. And I know that sometimes I may be slow, but I want you to really know that you're just as much a part of the club and the meeting as anybody else. So when you've got questions, please go ahead and write them into the comment section there, and I will pass them along to John. Adui 13 says, how do I get the Zoom link again? Here's the bad news about the Zoom link. I say that bad news because I see that you are on Facebook, or on YouTube, rather. I don't post a link on YouTube because when we've done that in the past, we get Zoom bombed by Pornhub. I guess they know their audience. I don't know. I don't know what that means. So I don't do that. I only post a link over there on Facebook. So go on over to the Facebook and look for the Virtual Pipe Club, and today's post and yesterday's post has the link on it, and then come on in.
David, probably it's good if you say in the 2 pages that you posted, like the United Pipe Club, and I don't know what the other one was.
They should have the link on there. Oh,
I know, but what I'm saying, if some
yeah.
people if some people doesn't belong to those two, they're
Gotcha.
never gonna find it.
You're right. What I try to do is share that post to probably about a dozen different pipe clubs. Not all the pipe clubs approve our posts, and I get it, because they have their own club members and criteria and stuff like that. So there's a number of clubs that welcome the posts and promote it and stuff like that. So you might just have to go to a couple of different pipe groups to see if the posting got made there. The Philosophical Gentlemen's Pipe Club, the Gentlemen's Pipe Club, Wipe TPC, all those groups on Facebook, they all, the Chicago, and of course the Cypress Pipe Club. Although Janos isn't here right now. I don't know why. So, in any case, there we go. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. In just a second, we're going to do our regular ritual. I'll do a little housekeeping and find out what everybody's smoking and what they're smoking it in. And then we'll get right into the getting to know John better. And I'm going to toss him a couple of softball questions. We're not CNN here. And so then we'll get a chance to maybe hear some stories. And then I'm going to open it up to questions and just have some fun. It's just laid back. So, Randall, why don't we start with you, brother?
Thank you very much, David. My new Bones pipe from the raffle. I just love it. I just love it to pieces. Smokes great, looks good. This side looks better. Got some nice straight graining down here. Very comfortable. Hangs like a million. And in it, Amu also included a little pouch of, what is it? Solani. Black and white, it said, number 763. It's kind of a light English blend. It's a broken flake. Smokes wonderful. And as long as I got the floor, I just want to give a big shout out to Wilke Tobacco. I think they produce some fabulous good stuff. I'm a big fan of one they made for the Pipe Smokers of Ireland group. Oh, it's a wonderful tobacco. Next bowl here this afternoon is going to be some High Hat, also from Wilke. Just astoundingly good stuff. So that's enough of that. Let's see, who's next? How about John Plunkett?
Before
Yes.
John jumps in there, I just want to say for everybody who missed out on the raffle that we had for our anniversary issue, Randall won a very special big prize. It is a full year of pipe and blend of the month. So every month he's going to get a new Bones pipe and a little packet of surprise tobacco. So I don't know which pipes he's getting. I didn't even see I didn't even open the package, the pipes, when it came in from Chris. So I'm just going to be just as excited to see what he's got every month as y'all are. So
Amu said that Chris had the chronological order for the pipes all predetermined, and that's cool. That's great. I love it.
wow.
She's a champ too. Yes, John Plunkett, please.
Thank you, Randall. Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see everyone again. I have been AWOL, if you will, because I got busy. But fortunately, this afternoon, I saw the note, had enough time to plan and get here. I am starting off with one of my state pipes that I've had for a number of years. This is a straight grain Ben Wade. It's a big, heavy pipe. It's flat on the bottom. It sits nicely. And once I burn through that one, I'll probably move over to this Nording horn, which is it's one of my favorite pipes. It smokes very well. It's a bit of a bear to light because of the angle and how it sits in your mouth. You have trouble seeing where the flame is on the end, which is why the top's a little charred. But in both of these, I'm doing some Palmetto Balkan that I know other folks have had here. I've had this one for quite a while. It's beginning to get a little dry, so I thought I should go ahead and put some miles on it. So I'm working on that, and that will get me through the afternoon. So let me pass the virtual pipe up north to our friend Dave. What's up, Dave?
Hey, thanks, John. Yeah, just chilling. I'm trying a new blend I've been smoking all week. It's called Boreal Forest Fire. So just about everything I smoke has that flavor involved in it. It's pretty. We've been inundated with smoke here from fires in northern Saskatchewan and Alberta for about 4 days now. So, but technically I'm smoking some Elizabethan mixture, and I'm smoking it in a pipe made for me by my friend Aaron Kamsia from Japan. And yeah, it's a nice little pot, I guess. Prince or pot, whatever, I'm not sure exactly. It's kind of a combination shape with some Buddha bamboo and a nice little saddle bit on it. It's really comfortable to smoke. After that, I'm going to light up my Llanos Coconos Saturday pipe, another bamboo poker, and I'm likely going to be smoking some Watch City Old Dominion in that. So it's nice to see you guys, and look forward to hearing from everybody. So let's see who we got here. Well, since we have a majority of Daves, and one of them has his hand up. So Mr. Peterson, you're next. Go ahead, brother.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, greetings from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Today it's too nice to be inside, so I'm out here smoking a cigar I got from John David and Quinn at the Chicago show. It's a Country Squire brand banded figurado. It's not a Connecticut. It's probably a Ecuadorian wrapper or something, but it's a very good cigar, perfect draw. And I'll pass the pipe on to, or pass the virtual cigar back to the pipe. How about Alvin? He's got his hand up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. I am smoking some Ken Byron's Burley Morning Pipe, which I'm having with a cup of coffee. It's great with a cup of coffee, and I'm having it in a Trey Rice straight Dublin, and he's a Texas carver here that's very popular in Texas, and I think and across the nation as well. And then I'm going to have some of Wilke's 515, which is a tobacco that inspired me to get it from Wilke because of the history, the Basil Rathbone history and the Sherlock Holmes history. And I decided to go ahead and try that, and I really like it, and I'm going to have it in my pine cone pipe. And this is a pipe that I got from Ted Bellinger at the Chicago show, who had trademarks acorns and pine cones, and I grew up in East Texas, so this has a little special meaning to me. And
that thing looks awesome, Alvin.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll tell you, it's tedious work, and I think I got it at a pretty good price considering how long it took him to do it. So, at any rate, and that's for me. And again, I've been traveling a lot, so I'm hopefully I'm trying to work it where I don't. I'm not gone over 2 weeks, but usually sometimes it overlaps. So I'm glad to be back today. Let's see. Miguel, are you going to share your pipe and smoke?
Thank you, Alvin. I
All right.
appreciate it. I started my day with Tom Elton rusticated curry and with Dampora Virginia blend. And then on the second pipe, I like small pipes, so Castello Collection, Shape 41. And with that, I'm going to smoke Orlick Golden Slice. And I will pass the Virtual Pipe Club to Tim.
Thank you, Miguel. So I'm starting off with this Il Chepo Rhodesian, a really nice pipe. It's got a very nice blast. I have several Il Chepos. I think they're one of those pipes I think is maybe flies under the radar for some reason. And in it, I'm smoking some Wilke's Best Make, a very nice tobacco, an English blend. And then after that, I'm going to go on to GLP's Geometry, which is a Virginia Oriental blend. I've had a few bowls of it already. It's really good. Comes in a very dense, thick, hard plug that you have to take a knife and really cut at it. It does involve a little bit of work, but that's okay because, you know, thinking about sitting around and smoking the pipe and not moving, it's exercise, how I look at it. So good. And I think I'll smoke that in this, what the heck is this? Some Irish pipe, I don't know, it's whatever. Joe, this is Peterson 4AB. So Joe just joking. Classic reproduction.
Oh,
Peterson
yes.
4AB.
I like that.
Yep. So that's my lineup for today. John Brandt, it's very nice to see you today. I've had the pleasure of going to John's store in Fall River with the Sherlock Holmes Pipe Club. We've gone down there, you know, every now and then for like the National Pipe Smoking Day. He's a wonderful host, and we always have a good time down there. So John, I'm very happy that you're here today joining us. Thank you for your time. And I'm gonna pass the virtual pipe over to you, John. Why don't you tell us what you're smoking today?
Well, today I got a pipe is made by Jim Mazoria. He doesn't put as many pipes out now because his job interferes with his passion, but really a nice smoking pipe. And I'm smoking one of our new blends, Dark Oriental. It's a couple of areas of Turkish tobacco, really smooth. Sometimes you get that little sour taste. Then my next one's going to be out of a Sherlock Holmes Peterson, and this one I have. What did I load up? Oh, one I've been working on. I'll probably save that for last. It's a Boston cream pie, and one I've been working on for a little while. And after that, I'll probably after this one, I'll move on to it's a Wilke short pipe, one of my favorites because I don't like a long pipe. And in this, I have one of our oldest blends, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has been around since 1856. Same blend, same tobacco, smokes really smooth. You get that hint of Latakia, but a little black Cavendish miles it out. So it's a nice everyday smoke, and I really enjoy that. And I'm also where's Dave? I'm a Benfica fan. I don't know, Dave, Mark, do you follow Benfica?
I follow Benfica, and unfortunately lost against Inter, which I'm sad, and Milan, both of them on the Champions League, but it's okay. They will do better. Also, I'm a fan of Atletico de Madrid. So fortunately or unfortunately, we had Joao Felix, who came from Benfica, which I don't like. I'm glad that he's on Chelsea, not playing for us anymore. Yes, he was too lazy. You know, it's like too much money, too lazy. It's like these mega stars who do nothing.
Well, I come from a city that's very Portuguese, so they're very soccer oriented. Okay. And when they said you got to pick a team that you want to follow, I said I want to follow Porto, and they said, why Porto? Because every time they score a goal, I'm going to have a glass of port. That was funny.
That's a great idea. I mean, if I was something, I would be Sporting of Lisbon more than Benfica, but it's okay. Anyway, thank you though, and thank you for being here and talking about your amazing blends. What I'm doing today, and I'm gonna be doing before my other Dave. I don't know, we read minds or something, but I was smoking the What City instead of the Old Dominion, the 558. So you're gonna smoke.
That's my absolute favorite, brother.
I like this one more because it's more toasty and compound and blended, but I actually have the Old Dominion here as well. And both of these, I have to thank Tim, because Tim is the guy. He's my sponsor who provides me all these tobaccos since I'm not in Boston. Nice. So he's a generous man.
Yeah, the Stowe Virginia really like mellows out the blend and makes it really good.
I agree. And I'm smoking it on this Castellos E-Rock that I got in St. Louis about 2 years ago. So that's what I'm doing. And I guess next is our friend Bud from San Diego.
Hello, everybody. I'm smoking it's actually an RNA pipe that a friend of mine rusticated. And I don't know if how well you guys can see that or not, but it's better. He did quite a job on it. So, I'm I'm smoking some Lane Limited Ready Rubbed, which is their version of Edgeworth. And after this, I'll probably smoke some of our club blend by Wilkie, the Coronado Oriental. So, and John, I thank you a lot for all your support of our club and putting that blend together. It was great.
You're welcome. It's actually a very good selling tobacco. It's primarily Turkish and then a lot of Latakia and unsweetened Cavendish in it. So really a good, I'd say all day smoke. I mean, if you like Latakia, it's not as rough as it sounds.
Plus the Orientals come out really good on the retrohale. It's awesome. So that's what I like.
That's an excellent blend. I had some, and you talked me into it, bud.
Gotcha.
And it's very, very good. Very good.
All right. Then I don't see any other hands up unless somebody snuck in.
Yeah, we
Terry snuck in here. He just maybe doesn't know to put his hand up.
Yeah, Terry snuck in, and also, oops, there we go. Terry snuck in. Also, he asked a question, and I didn't catch it either. He said, "What was the name of the blend that John was still just talking about a second ago?" Because it sounded really delicious to me too. I'd love to. So, what was that blend again?
Coronado Oriental.
Coronado Oriental. Ah, hence the bud. I get it now. So why don't we pass the pipe on to Terry? Terry, you want to share with us what you're smoking and what you're smoking it in?
I am, ironically enough, smoking Wilkie's peanut butter chocolate. And I am smoking it out of my, what is this? It's a Brebbia Sun. I got it through our local pipe club. One of our members sadly passed away last year, but he donated everything he had to the club, and this was one of them.
I would say we have to train Terry and how we do this. First of all, thank you for sharing that. And that looks like a really terrific little pipe. I love it. So you came into the tail end, so you can't maybe see a bunch of electronic hands raised, but just to kind of keep things orderly, we do the hand raising thing, and then you can just pass it along to somebody else. But you and I are the cleanup batters, and so I guess I'm next. Troy, who's out there on YouTube watching today, said he was smoking some G&H Black Irish in a Rivara calabash and drinking some black coffee along with it. So that sounds like a good combination. I'm smoking, I'm drinking some coffee, but it's not black. It's a little caramel mishmash today. I'm smoking this bent acorn. I'm smoking this bent acorn from Chris Kelly at Eldridge Pipes. And I'll probably just smoke everything today in this pipe because it's relatively new and I'm still breaking it in. And it's still smoking a little hot. So I'm going to see if I can't tease it along and get it nice and coated in there. And inside it, I'm having some of this English blend by Wellhour. And it's a fairly mild English blend, but it's got a bite to it. It's got some real pepper on the end of that. And I'm not exactly sure what's in it to make that happen. Yeah, it doesn't say. It just says, don't smoke this or you'll die. That's basically all it says. In German, no less. And it says it in German, French, and Italian. So I could die in 3 different countries all at the same time. And I just saw our buddy Fred Eisensee sneak in here. So we'll get him on the spot later. Anyway, that's what we typically do to get our meeting started, just to kind of get related and on the interesting page. I love this. I'm not quite sure who started this tradition. I don't know that it was me, but it's one of the things I love about it is that I find out all about new tobacco stuff I'd never tried before. Wilke's peanut butter and jelly or whatever. Sounds really great. I'm going to have to try that because that sounds like a great flavor.
It's peanut butter and chocolate.
Peanut butter
Sorry,
and
I didn't mean-
chocolate.
And it's delicious.
We actually came up with that blend. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Jim Amish.
Yeah.
He's always on a diet, and he was looking for something after dinner to smoke. And it took us a while to get the peanut butter down to the exact taste we wanted. And then adding the chocolate, we wanted the chocolate to be like a Reese's peanut butter cup where you tasted the peanut butter and then you were biting into the chocolate. So the flavor kind of follows the peanut butter. You get the chocolate taste in, and I didn't think it would be as a big seller as it is. It's one of our top moving blends.
Well, I'm someday in the not too distant future, I hope I'll get some. I can't get anything here because I live in the state of Washington, and so I have to. I don't even know if there's a pipe shop anywhere near where I live. I might have to go all the way down to Seattle to get someplace that's got a decent selection of regular tins or whatever. So, but I may have to wait until October when I go to Vegas for the Vegas Pipe Show, and then I'm just going to stock up a whole bunch of stuff. I wanted to, before we go along any further, because I'm going to bring John on to take over. Tim, our wonderful longtime member and president of the Sherlock Holmes Pipes Club and everything. Tim recommended John as our guest here. Tim has always been the source of some great ideas. He knows so many people in the pipe smoking community, and so I really appreciate that he's given us this this recommendation. And I also want to extend this invitation to everybody who's watching or everybody in the club. Just a reminder, it's like, you guys know people. And you know people who know people. Like if you've got somebody that you'd love us to have as a special guest speaker, please let me know. Just send me a DM. Sometimes it takes a month or so for me to get everybody on the schedule, but that's how we'll do it. That's how we'll do it. So let me grab John and, invite him to maybe start talking to us a little bit about. Let's start with the background of Wilke Tobaccos itself. Like, tell us about the history of this particular tobacconist, and then we'll go forward and bring you into the picture.
All right. Well, Wilke started in 1872. Edwin Wilke started a company in New York. And back then, he was probably one of the main suppliers of tobacco up and down the East Coast. I mean, they were extremely, very popular being from New York, overseas business and stuff. They did a lot of shipping before it became popular. And in 1900, when Duke bought was buying a lot of cigarette tobacco companies, he bought Surberg. And Surberg was in the pipe tobacco and cigarette tobacco business. And Edwin bought Surberg, which dates back to 1856. That's why we have such blends that go back 200 years almost. And the father ran the company up to about 1830. Then he passed away, and his two daughters took over. And they weren't big pipe smokers, but they knew how to run a business and how to do customer service. And a lot of customers I still talk to now, because they ran the company up to 1980, and they still remember the sisters going in, and they would mix a blend up for them right there on the spot. And then the company was sold. Carolyn Burns and bought the company, and they stayed in Manhattan for a while. They left about 1994 and moved to Vermont, where they went mostly online. And we purchased, I bought the company back in 2017. And when I bought it, she only had 28 active blends. We're up over 100 blends now. And still, I have a book that's 2 inches thick of blends that I haven't even experimented with. So we try to introduce something here and there, bring out some new stuff. One of our newest blends we just put out was a line of Orientals. We put out 3. We put out the dark Oriental, the red Oriental, and the Mediterranean. I like the dark Oriental. It has a little more Macedonia in it and a good amount of cigar leaf. So it really brings out a lot of flavor in it. So, any questions or?
I just ordered their red in the dark. I'm looking forward to smoking it tomorrow at the club and passing it around. So
yeah, you like the little more oomph to it. So I think you're going to like the dark Oriental. It finishes well. I mean, it's not an all-day smoke, but 1 or 2 bowls, I enjoy it. Yeah.
sounds good.
So John, it's interesting that the name has been around for a long time, 200 years. So just wondering, over the course of the evolution of Wilke Tobaccos, like, what is it like trying to keep, the formulas the same, or keep the blends, the same as they were when they started? Has that gotten more difficult?
It has gotten more difficult due to the fact that some of the tobaccos aren't just grown anymore. I mean, they're not, you can't get, we had a lot of tobaccos we used out of Maryland, Tennessee, where was another, you just can't get them anymore because they're not growing them. So you find the substitutes that kind of almost hit the spot. I mean, some of them I didn't get a chance to try myself because they've been that long gone. So, but the hardest thing with Wilke is we were a top name for the longest time. And then we kind of in the 80s and 90s kind of, went underground, and it wasn't as mainstay. So it's almost kind of like bringing back Sears and Roebuck, like you got a good product. How do you get it back out in the hands of people and continuously put out a good product? And I hope when we do put out most of our blends, if you, I have a few testers that test them, and we get kind of high marks on them. But the reason we do that is because I won't put out a blend that's not, I think, up to the quality, up to the snuff of what people want to smoke. So I'll do a blend sometimes 5-6 times before we get it right. I might have to tweak a little Virginia, tweak a little of this, add a little more Perique, but whatever it takes before I put that blend out, we'll do the extra mile to put out a good product, to enjoy smoking.
What would be like the oldest blend in the line that's like still maybe one of the maybe perhaps one of the originals and still going?
Crystal Palace is still probably close to the original. The Burley, the Virginias are still put out. The Latakia, I mean, we're not getting Syrian Latakia. But I think on most people's taste buds, a lot of us haven't had Syrian Latakia in so long that the taste difference we're really not noticing as much. And I think it's just as good. But that's probably that blend's been around since 1856. So the Serberg blended that blend when Prince Albert did the First World Fair. Mm-hmm. And they called where they had the exhibits Crystal Palace. So they did that blend in the honor of the palace. So it's been around quite a bit.
John, when you say that you brought the inventory, the list of different tobaccos that you have in your recipes from 20 or so to over 100 today, what mix is going back into the old recipe books and recreating as much as you can versus coming up with brand new flavors?
Most of our blends are the original from the Wilke family. We started getting in with the new blends on my side are more the aromatics. We didn't have a big aromatic portfolio before we started coming up with Lizzie Blood Red Orange, the peanut butter, different things, 71st Street. When McCullen's closed down, 71st Street is kind of almost like, what was it, what they call that? Top Show, I think it was something like that. It was a chocolate nougat. So we kind of came up with our own blend to kind of satisfy that itch out there for that blend, and it's worked out well. Most of our 190 series is all original. 72 is a old blend that Walter Conkright used to smoke every day. He'd come into the shop on Madison Avenue and have a bowl before he went back to do the evening news. And so those are all pretty original. Hi-Hat has been around forever. The only blend that I wish we did have is we won a couple of World Fair, but none of those blends, the recipes stayed in the catalog. So those I wish we did have.
Well, let's go to see if we can connect the dots between you and Wilke. But before we get to when you bought the company, what was your whole history of being involved as a pipe smoker and then leading up to the purchase of Wilke in 2017 or so?
Well, I became a pipe smoker back in, I think I was 14 years old. I read Jack London's Call of the Wild, and me and my friends were putting together snowshoes, and pipe smoking seemed to be an ideal thing to do that. And I just got into the habit of smoking a pipe and enjoyed it ever since. I did open, it's the old Firehouse Smoke Shop, which we opened back in '95. We're going on our 29th year, and that's been going well. The only thing is when you're in a heavy tax burden state, it can tend to stifle your growth and your income. So when I saw the Wilke was up for sale, I went up to Vermont and thought it would be a nice avenue to go. And it's worked out well. I know a lot of people said it was like, it's not this customer oriented. You don't really get to mingle with your customers, but I have guys that call me, email me, it's just, you really stay in touch with them. And, some customers, the guy worked in the filming industry, and he told me all kinds of story about the Hollywood actors and smoking. And, you really do have a bond even on the internet. You might not see them in person, but you do get familiar with your customer base out there. And I've enjoyed it.
I see that we're having, so John was having a little bit of glitching happening on his stream there. And the moment I cut away to my camera, it stopped. It's working fine now. But I see that Dave's got a question here. Dave, why don't you take it?
Yeah, thanks, DDR. Yeah, hi, John. Thanks for this interesting presentation. Yeah, my question is, whenever I think of Wilke, I think of Pipeworks and Wilke. What's the connection? Because is there still a connection?
Well, it became Wilke and Pipeworks. I'm gonna mess up his last name.
Elliot Knockwalter.
Yeah, which is not an easy name to spit out there. He did he handmade pipes forever. Now he's just back into it, and he had a high grade pipe, excellent smoking pipe. And so Carol ran the Wilke end of the tobacco, and he did the pipe works, from repairing pipes to making new product and stuff. And that's where they got the Wilke Pipe Works name from.
Let me open it up to some other questions from the other members of the club and also the folks over there on Facebook and YouTube. Because I want to dig in a little bit deeper to John's connection, like John, just to prepare you, like your motivation beyond just adding another product line or extending the brand, revitalizing a brand a little bit more. Because I suspect there's sort of a deeper love of pipe smoking, pipe tobaccos that you saw an opportunity to revitalize, but then also grow into the future. I'm just suspecting that, but I'd love to hear that story. So before we get there, let me just open it up to other questions from our group there, and just go ahead and jump on in.
John, you mentioned the name Serberg. What is that? Was that a tobacco company?
They were a little bit bigger than Wilke, because Wilke just did pipe tobacco, and Serberg was a big wholesaler. They had, and you can go in and buy. They did a lot of cigarette tobacco, a lot of pipe tobacco, and we have quite an extension of their line still. We try to, when we put an old blend up, we'll put Serberg or we'll put Wilke. And actually Wilke, they probably purchased like 16, 18 different shops or companies during his time. And we'll even include that when we do like our TC Gold is from a shop that was in New York. And it's surprising, TC Gold was, the sisters probably bought that in the 60s. And the number of people that still remember going into that shop when they order it comment to me like, oh, I used to go into that shop. Is that their blend? And I'm like, yep, it's their recipe. We got it right here. Wilke, purchased it. They're like, yeah, we remember that. So, we try to honor, if it's a spot that Wilke didn't make the blend, come up with the blend, we try to recognize who did and to keep their history going too.
Good way to do it. Great, thanks. Hey, also, are all of your blends listed on your website?
Yes, all of them are listed on the website.
Okay, good.
On that note, John, do you want to give the website URL out to everybody so that they can go visit? And I'll put it into the chat here and also onto the live stream chat.
Yeah, our website is www.wilkepipetobacco.com. And if you want to, you can sign up for our emails. We send out emails and stuff for new stuff coming out, new blends, specials we do. We're not very much into cigars. We do offer a cigar of the month, but mainly it's all pipe tobacco and pipes related.
It's always exciting when I see the name Wilke in my inbox. I like that.
Thank you.
I'm curious also about the story you were telling that the sisters bought a bunch of other. Did they just buy the recipe books, or did they buy the brick and mortar stores as well, or how did that come about? And do you have any other names of some different places that they acquired?
I think they mainly bought the businesses were getting ready to close or shut down because of probably just getting up there in age and didn't have anyone to take over. And so the Wilke sisters purchased. I'm not sure. I know when Nat Sherman started when he opened his shop up. Wilke did all the blending for them. So some of it was Wilke's blends, like everyone does. They changed the name. Some of it was new blends. Our commander on our one of our blends was blended for them. It was a new blend for them. It's kind of a mild everyday smoke. Abercrombie and Finch, when they were a sporting goods store, Wilke did I think 5 or 6 blends for them, and they're quite flavorful and quite enjoyable. The Belmont sells well. What is the I forget. When you start getting into 100 blends, you kind of sometimes forget what's in the line. But I think oh, 436 and Safari were one of Abercrombie and Finch, and 436 is still one of our top moving. It's got a nice Latakia, a nice Virginia, some Oriental in it. Very, very tasty. Yeah, that's.
I have another question for you, John. As you continue to tell your story, other ideas occur to me. We constantly have a conversation in our club meeting about whether or not the pipe smoking hobby / lifestyle is growing or declining. And I think that one way you might track that in a way is the popularity of some of the different blends that you've got. Have you noticed that some blends have fallen in popularity and been replaced by others?
Yes, I think as younger smokers go on, you know, they start with the aromatics, the 191, the cherry Cavendish, and then all of a sudden they move up to you know, maybe something with a little Latakia or a little Perique, and they're like, wow, this is good. And I'm like, yeah. They go, because sometimes first when they go to start smoking, they'll be like, oh, the Latakia, that smells too strong. But once they start smoking it, they find out it's quite a good blend and quite a good mix, and the flavor and the profile just work, you know. I guess it's the same as starting in a cigar. You know, you start out with a Connecticut or a Drew Estate, and then all of a sudden your taste buds are calling for something a little more flavorful, so you move up to the Latakias, the Perique blends, the English blends, and so yeah, I do see. Just the other day, gentleman was in for to buy his father a pipe, and I said, "Do you smoke a pipe?" And he's like, "I tried it." He goes, "I got a corn cob, and I don't really enjoy it." So we went home that night. Dad's birthday. Dad gave him the pipe, and his dad said, "Try smoking this one." And the kid actually came in the next day and said, "I want to buy." He bought last year's St. Patrick's Day pipe, last one in the store. And he said, "Wow, I smoked a good pipe." And he said, the change in the tobacco, the way it smoked was just different. You know, it was really good. He goes, "My old pipe just didn't give me that that taste, the flavor wouldn't come through right." So, you know, I do see the younger market coming on board. I don't think, you know, it's a less expensive, you know, I don't consider cigarette smoking a hobby or even enjoyable, you know. But I've never smoked cigarettes, so, but I just don't see them in the same category as a pipe or a cigar. And, but to me, a pipe is just so relaxing, you know. At the end of the day, you sit back, you let it bowl, and you just unwind. And, you know, I look forward to those.
So John, it sounds like that gentleman who came in to buy the pipe, he bought the St. Patrick's Day pipe. That's Peterson.
Yeah.
Changes world, right?
Yeah. Changes the world.
Nothing more to say.
We knew you were going to jump. So before DDR allow us to ask questions before he jumps, I have two questions. One, Tim and me, we were talking about it privately. Like, we are big fans of Orientals too. So, if you can tell us more in detail, not of all the blends you have, because you cannot memorize probably all, but what kind of Orientals do you use? Because I'm a big fan of Orientals. I have several Orientals on its own, blends that have different Orientals. Of course, you cannot buy Drama or Yanish on its own anymore. And
Yeah.
now they call it Turkeys because they put Ishmir with Bashma together and they call it Turkeys now. So
Yeah.
can you tell us more in detail about the Oriental blends that you have, your favorite Orientals, the ones that you use that are not Turkeys combined, please?
Well, we do use Turkish in most of our other blends. We just started getting into Macedonia, and I do have a few more coming in just to try out to see how they are. Before that, our only Turkish really was the San Diego Pipe Club blend. Our 400 has Oriental in it. Our 111 just has a touch of it. So it just, when we came up with the 3 new Orientals to put out was because we were in that Perique shortage, and it was getting tough. I mean, they didn't ship Perique from the middle of January till probably about 2 weeks ago. So that was definitely a hindrance on putting out product. And some folks thought, are we going to get Perique back in? Is it going by the wayside? And just because of the hurricane and flooding, it just put the crop production back. So, but we did feel it when it comes to blending because we didn't have it. And I mean, just on the Perique side, I mean, even if it doesn't have a lot in it, it's like pepper on a steak or something. You'll miss it if you don't add it. So a lot of our blends we couldn't put out for a while. So that's why we came up with the Orientals, just to kind of broaden our taste and our portfolio on different Orientals, because we didn't have a whole lot. So, and we experimented around with it, and most of our Orientals we tied in with a cigar leaf, which kind of complements the Orientals, and a little Virginia, a little of this, and you'll see, like if you smoke the Mediterranean, very smooth. Has less cigar leaf in it, more Oriental in it, Virginia. That one we put a red Virginia ribbon in it, and it's tasty.
Thank you.
David, did you have a follow-up question that you wanted to ask there?
Yeah, well, I had one, but I didn't want to say both at the same time. So my second one was, because he mentioned earlier in regards of the Larakia, how now is, of course, there is no way to get Syrian no longer. When you make blends, the old blends you used to make with Syrian Larakia, when you put Cyprian Larakia, do you have to modify those blends much with maybe putting a little bit more of Oriental, a little bit more of Virginia to compensate, or is you just switch one Latakia for the other and it tastes still as good?
Nope, we don't orient we don't change the blend any. I mean, because he's Syrian Latakia, what, about 2010 went off the market, something like that. So a lot of folks haven't had it, and unless you do a lot of cellaring, you don't have those blends readily available to even go back and sample and try and see how. But most of the time I smoke it, and I think it's pretty much on the mark compared to the Syrian. So I mean, I don't think it's much of a difference. I think the quality is still there, and the Latakia we're getting.
I mean, I'm not saying any bad about the quality, of course.
No.
Like while the Syrian was more like an incense spice, the other one's all woodsy and fire and leather, blah blah blah. So sometimes perhaps for people who try your old blends, you have to increase a little bit, maybe 5%, no more, 10% of Virginia, to mild that Latakia, because sometimes the good thing about the Syrian blends is that Latakia was not the powerful flavor that overcame all of the other leaves. While in my opinion, the new Latakia does. Sometimes you put the same amount of Latakia, 10%, 15%, and all what you taste is Latakia all the way. So sometimes you have to kind of maybe change a little bit of percentage of something else to not make that Latakia that powerful now that it was not when it was Syrian. That was my point of view.
That is a good point. I mean, we haven't had a problem with it, anyone commenting on it, but it is, the new Latakia is a lot more smokier, you know, a little more fiery, you know, smoky taste to it. So yeah.
I found out something very interesting just this last week with regards to Latakia. And we've had conversations about that for like the last 3 years about the changes in Syrian Latakia versus not being able to source it from there anymore. So for the past, I don't know how long, Latakia, that particular town and that area where they used to grow that is now a de facto Russian province. Like Russia has gone in there, and they have a huge military presence. They've got a big what do they call that? Stockade or whatever, and that also makes some different decisions about trade out of that city. So Latakia is a port city; they control the ports, all that kind of stuff. So I just found that very interesting, like because it was sort of a mystery about, so other than not making a whole lot of money because there's not that much demand for pipe tobacco as opposed to other agricultural products. Like what else affects it? And so I think probably that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
And Troy, although all the way over there on YouTube, also wanted to know where you're getting your Latakia these days. And so David's question got him answered there, and that was perfect timing. I'd like to go back, if I could, to the question I had about, like, maybe we can go all the way back to when you started up Firehouse. What turned you from a pipe smoking aficionado into, I want to be a retailer, I want to be in the business?
Well, I always smoked a pipe and cigar. Even when I was in the food service business, I always had in my office my pipe, my cigars. Had a break, I go back, relax, takes the pressure off the day, Then I had an Irish pub, and we used to go to Providence to buy pipe tobacco. We used to go to Red Carpet. Tim knows the Red Carpet, I'm sure. And we go there every Saturday and pick up stuff for the week. And my friends were like, we need a cigar shop here. And so I walked around the corner from my Irish pub, and there was a two-story firehouse. The building we're in was built in 1843. It was it's the oldest standing firehouse in Fall River. And everyone's always like, how'd they pull the trucks in? I go, it was built in 1843. We had the carriage drawn, apparatus. The horse barn was in the back. I said, so we didn't have cars back then. And so I opened the shop, and we got into cigars, and then we started more into pipes, tobaccos. Back then, McCullen's was probably our top selling tobacco. And we did quite well with it. And as we moved on, I had Bob Clark. I don't know if anyone ever had a Clark pipe. He did them for a while. Bob passed away a couple of years ago. And he would come in on mainly Saturdays. He would be here, and he had a little table outside set that you wanted to come in, have your pipe buffed out, stem replaced. he had all that stuff here to do that, and it was a nice extra to the business. You know, if you bought a pipe and you wanted to get a little shined up, he would gladly do that for you. And you know, he helped me with some blending. We didn't do a lot of blending ourselves back then. And he's the one who actually told me about Wilke up on the market. And so Carol had sent me like 5-6 samples, and I was impressed. And that's how the ball got rolling on Wilke. And we went up to Vermont a few times to see her and sat down, talked with her, and we were in business. It was a little different having a brick and mortar, and then all of a sudden you go online and it's like, okay, there's your website, but you don't see the door opening. You don't, you know, it was a little scary at first because you don't have, you know, you don't see traffic, you don't see anything. And then all of a sudden it just starts kicking off and we were off and running.
John, there's a gentleman who is watching us over on YouTube that says that he is now a big fan of Long Island Sound Blend. And he said that he and the two of you were just chatting about it. He said this is about 6 months ago. He came in to buy some Squadron Leader, and you guys were just chatting it up. And you said, here, try this. His name's Daniel. And I wonder if you remember him.
I think I do. I do have a few folks that come up, you know, the Connecticut. I shouldn't say that. I have a guy that comes out here to visit the Cape from Indianapolis, and a real nice gentleman. And him and his wife always stop in every year on the way out. And you know, so you know, and I don't mind passing out the samples because I'm like, you know, I know they're, you know, smoking. It's easier to get some of the tin stuff than it is bulk stuff. And so I'll be like, hey, you like this? Try this. And I think that's how he got the Long Island blend. But yeah.
He said, just to jog your memory, that he was the lawyer wearing the suit.
Oh, okay. He's from I think the Boston area then. Yeah.
I got another one. Sorry, David.
Go ahead.
I was going to give time, even though I have 5 or 6. I didn't want to ask all at once. You mentioned also about the Periques having trouble this year, which I was aware of that. Who's your provider, if it's okay asking that? And if so, what kind of Periques do you use, like Belmont, Battery, Grand Point? Which ones?
We use I like a more of a ribbon cut Perique because I like to tear it. I like the look that it gives to the blend. First it came back out was a granulated Perique, but we are coming up with our anniversary blend we wanted to do for Christmas, but we're using a St. James Perique in that one, and that we hope to have out as soon as it comes in. We have that on back order still, but like I say, I normally like a darker looking Perique. I think it looks better in the blend, and I think it smokes better. I just like to profile it when you're smoking it.
Thank you.
I think it stays more mixed better when it's ribbon cut too, than the granulated kind of settles in the bag. So you kind of got to remix your tobacco every time you make a bowl. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a little, you know, because I mean, definitely can't put the whole ribbon in, so you got to kind of shred it up a little. So it's a little more involvement in making the blend. But like I say, when you're only adding a small portion of Perique, I think it's worth taking the extra steps to make a good blend.
Good, nice.
So there are, I think, a consolidation phenomenon that we're seeing amongst tobacco sources, you know, as Scandinavian, for example, snatches up some different companies, and some companies are just going out of business. Where do you see Wilke in the mix, and what's your vision of the future?
Well, I see us in the mix hopefully for a long time. It does worry me when we're a little smaller, so sometimes we keep a good amount of stock on hand. But I never thought I'd have to worry about 5 months of Perique being out. So that we do take into concern, and we're kind of buying some stuff and putting it aside, and in case there is something, that glitch that goes on, because it does hurt your, you know, my bottom line. If I can't put out the blends, it's you know, it makes it tough. So we do look at those things. It's as far as keeping ample stock, and even like now with Perique, you want to have like, okay, we got 5 months, we put it aside, and we're not touching it in case there's something happens this summer where there's another hurricane or something. We'll be able to ride out the, you know, the time before they get it back out. We're always constantly looking at different blends, but we don't want to put out a blend just to put out a blend, because it seems like every other week they're always putting out something new, and it's like, is it tasty, or you're just putting it out just to add to your portfolio? I mean, I always look at that. So when we put out a blend, we want to make sure people are going to enjoy it. It's something different. Whether you tweak this or tweak that, I mean, I don't want it to be, we don't need a blend that tastes like hi-hat. We want something that's going to be either less, I don't want to say less aromatic, less Latakia in it, something different. So when we do look at putting out new stuff, we want to make sure it's going to fit everybody's, you know, taste buds.
What so something in the nature of a small sort of producer, maybe think about Gawith and Hogarth, and I'm curious about, in rough terms, I don't want to ask any trade secrets here or anything like that, but what's your volume in a year, let's say, just combined?
Combined, well, we do quite well. I mean, we ship all over the world. Actually, we were talking about our Irish Pipe Club blend, the Gawith Golar. No, Gawith. Hartha Galway. Too many blends, you forget the names. But that we had a guy who was a member of the Pipe Club, and he lived in Russia. And he sent me an email saying, can you send there? And I'm like, well, I never have, but I said, we'll try it. And he got the blend, and I said, well, you got to let me know how you like it, how you're enjoying it. And he sent me an email back and forth when he was smoking it. So, you know, those things are nice. So we do quite, you know, what my biggest, well, still New York, since that's where we're from, but Texas and California, I'll have 6-8 orders going to Texas almost every day. And so we're still continuing to grow. We're about halfway where I want to be, you know. We do a lot more pipe tobacco than we do pipes. And it's tough developing a good pipe business. Inventory wise, you got to keep it. I mean, it's a big investment for us. So that kind of keeps our growth down a little bit as far as sales wise, but we order pipes and offer them on the site. So, you know, we're continuously looking for new avenues to go down.
All right, here's the big question. Are you the master blender at Wilke, or do you have other people working on it?
I'm the master blender. I take the orders, print the orders out. I do the boxing, mailing. I'm excuse me, I'm the one-man show. So everyone always calls up and they go, "Oh, you're the master blender." I'm like, I'm pretty much everything, you know. So when you call, you're going to get me on the phone, and you know, which I like. Keeps me busy, makes the day pass.
And
You know,
are
some
you
days are a little
the
hectic.
are you the manning the shop as well at the same time?
I do manage a shop too, but like I say, during the time, mass has become very the rules, regulations, no flavored tobacco, no flavored cigars, our high tax of 40%. It's just kind of it's not a tobacco friendly state. So in-house business has dropped off quite a bit. And so, you know, I put more of my time towards the Wilke end of it. And that's where our growth is. So, but yeah, I take care of both.
I just want to ask one more follow-up. Then I see I saw Bud has a question too. So the one part I'm so curious about is, as you look forward into the next 20 years, what's your vision for, you know, where Wilke is going to go and where Firehouse is going to go? Do you think it's possible to grow significantly? Do you want to, or are you, you know, going to retire and sell to some other young buck to come along?
Well, I don't see being a brick and mortar probably maybe another 4 years. I mean, it's still a nice store. We still have great service and great products, from pipes to humidors to lighters to cigars. I mean, it's just not the you can't retire on it anymore. So now Wilke, I have an envision of moving back home to Pennsylvania. Online business you can take anywhere and you don't even miss a beat. So we look, you know, to the future being around for quite a while.
John, where in Pennsylvania? I'm from Pennsylvania.
Oh, I'm kind of my family's from outside of Gettysburg, Carlisle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking more for the Poconos. I like to, you know, I told my wife I gave up hiking and stuff, but I said, when we move, I want to be able to walk out the door and take a little walk in the woods and go back to work. So I want to enjoy. I mean, I'm only 60, so I still have quite a few years to put out tobacco and enjoy life.
Yeah, I'm generally from around. I'm from Hazleton, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, you know, it's near the Poconos.
Bud, what's your question, sir?
Hey, I was just going to make a comment that John is very open to being involved with pipe clubs, as there's quite a few pipe club blends on his site, and the experience of working with him on developing a blend and everything else is really great. So if you have a club and you're thinking about a club blend, definitely talk to John, because he's been very accommodating with both the creation and the now the marketing even of some of the blends. So
Yeah, we do.
let you know.
I don't know. Oh, this is that's their label we put on their blend when it goes out the door. So we come up with we use your logo. We come up with a label, put it on the bag, and I think it helps promote the clubs, because the more the smoking clubs get involved, the more we get involved, and it just, you come up with some. Like when we did your blend and it was that much Latakia and Turkish, I'm like going, you guys gonna smoke this? And it didn't seem like an everyday type of blend, and it's one of our good movers too. I mean, people love it when they buy it. I mean, Long Island Sound, we have 2 blends for them, and I can't take credit for those because we dug out of the history books 2 blends that came out of Nat Sherman on those that weren't being used, and I figured it was kind of befitting that we were going to use Nat Sherman's 2 blends for the Long Island Pipe Club, and stayed local and honors their club. We are working with Speakeasy Club to do a blend for them. So yeah, I still get a guy out of Minnesota who wants to do the peanut butter and jelly, but I just can't see grape as a tobacco yet, but who knows?
Smokypipes.com has, they used to anyway, have a segment on their YouTube channel called Will It Grape. And so you could enter into that one with your peanut butter. I see Alvin's got a question. Alvin, jump in, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, David. Hello, John.
Hi.
I'm Alvin from Texas, and I certainly appreciate the great service. I get the tobaccos I've ordered from you in no time, and I appreciate that.
Thanks.
And I don't smoke aromatics a lot, but I know that when I have talked to friends about it, if you want an aromatic, you've got to go to Wilke. And so I guess is it a safe assumption that you kind of made your name on aromatics, or is that a little misleading? I'm kind of wondering about that.
No, I would say somehow we our aromatics do get a lot of play. We do send a lot of like I said, the peanut butter is one of my top 10 sellers, and
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of different when you say peanut butter. You're like peanut butter tobacco, but I tell you, when I light that up, it's like you're sitting at a ball game, cracking peanuts, eating them, and it kind of sticks to the top of your mouth, and it's a nice smooth smoke. I mean, the peanut butter stays right through. Then our 71st Street, guys love that with a chocolate nougat, a little touch of Irish whiskey in it. So yeah, we've I think we're not stingy when it comes to putting in all of our ingredients we put in the tobacco, like our chocolates, our I'm in the shop here. Our butterscotch, everything we use is you could put into everyday eating, ice cream, cakes, whatever. No artificial ingredients. It's all natural. So I think that's why our aromatics are above other people's.
Well, I love peanut butter, and I did see a review by, I think, Okie Piper did a review on your peanut butter, I believe, on YouTube. And I don't think he was prepared to like it, but he ended up loving it. So I guess that's that. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. And follow-up question. I know you're starting to do some different Oriental blends that you were talking about earlier. Are you finding that is that due to customer demand, or are you just trying to explore and widen your portfolio a little bit? Or I'm just curious.
Yeah, we always want to have a little something different in our line. And like I said, we only had maybe a dozen blends that had Oriental in it. So when we did have the Greek shortage, I'm like, okay, this is where we need to have a couple fallbacks,
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I like Oriental blends, so I'm glad to hear that.
John, I'm a big favorite of several of your blends. I have to tell you that my wife really enjoys the peanut butter and chocolate. It's one of the few blends that she really comments on while I'm smoking, so that makes everything great. The question that I had, we've got a local blender here who has been around, his family has been around for a long time, and they used to do a lot of blending for individuals, a specific blend that he makes for that customer. Are some of your older blends like that, or are they more just for the general public?
Most of our older blends are for the general public, but I do have in our catalog, it'll have a name on top and how they tweaked the blend. So yeah, we did, the sisters did a lot of that, where you would come in and they would know that you wanted extra Perique or you wanted this. So yeah, they did a lot of specializing in what the customer wanted to smoke, and we still do. I have a few customers that have different. They'll order 191. They'll want some of this extra in it. Even number 13, some people will ask for something a little different in it. So we do accommodate that. We're not cut and dry on the blend. So we want you to enjoy it and smoke it up.
It's interesting. Like I say, really enjoy some of your blends. So look forward to those.
Thanks. Now, Fred, where are you from?
St. Louis.
Oh, you look familiar.
Yeah.
Maybe just.
Yeah, John is like me. We get that all the time, and I think it's because we're both in the post office. One picture like this, one like this. Me and Fred, we've served time together in Lompoc. A couple of quick questions because we're getting close to our typical end of meeting time. Are you on your laptop there,
Yes.
John? Because I was just wondering if maybe it's possible for you to just kind of like give us a shot. Are you in the workroom where you do all your stuff?
I'm in our workroom right now that we're getting ready to move into a bigger spot in the store because we're just outgrown our space. I mean, a lot of times I have to blend and put it in the other room, so I'm not always hands-on. Let's see, but I'll take you out to the shop and show you. I don't know if you can, but this is like our back counter area for our tins and stuff. I don't know if you can see much of it, but the workshop is back here, and so the lighting's going to show you, well, like it really doesn't pick up too much, but it's the window kind of ruins it too. But the workshop's probably a 12 by 13 room right now. We're going to be moving into a 15 by 28 with shelves where I can put all the blends. Now I have blends that are like, if you look in this cabinet, we probably have the tobaccos just piled up, so it makes it tough to keep it organized. So
is that your blend? Is that your blended stock, or is that your raw?
That's blended. There? That's blended stock.
Oh, that's awesome. So the one question I haven't asked yet, and I wanted to know if anybody else had it. What's your favorite? What's your go-to smoke?
Let's see. That's a tough one. Because I bounce around a lot. Crystal Palace is probably my number one go-to. But a lot of times, the last couple of weeks, I've been smoking a lot of dark Oriental. I always have, if I'm blending something up, 72, I'll take a bowl out, smoke it. And because I like to make sure it's still on mark and everything is, right there. But Crystal Palace is probably my favorite.
I was actually going to ask that, David. First, do you ever make any blend for yourself that you like it so much that you ended up including it into your books?
Probably the Lizzie Blood Red was one of my favorites that I thought I had to come out with. And how I came up with that was there's a local brewery here that does they had a blood orange beer that was very tasty. And I was like, if I could get that blood orange taste into like a tobacco. So I'm thinking blood orange, I'm thinking Virginia and Perique. And I thought it was great. And I sent it off to a couple people to try, and then we put it out for everybody.
And
John, if you need more testers, you know.
Is the Crystal Palace because of the soccer team? Or is your favorite soccer team in England?
No, it's not my favorite soccer team. No, I don't know. The right amount of Latticue in it, the right amount of Perique, then the little softness of a black Cavendish added. It just makes a nice all day, enjoyable smoke. At the end of the day, you can sit back. It's not going to give you that tongue bite. It's you can have a couple bowls and enjoy it.
Well, I
What's your favorite
second
team?
Bud's suggestion there. I think Virtual Pipe Club would be happy to be your test group here if you need
Okay.
some testers. And I think we've talked about this for years. We need a club blend, and so John, you and I have some conversations I think that we got to get into there.
Well, the one thing about I've never done a blend where we could each get a sample of and actually talk about it, person, on Zoom, like, I think it needs a little tweak here. I think it needs a little this, I mean, you're talking with everybody. So I think that would be something nice.
I think you heard it here, folks. This is going to be the start of a beautiful friendship, as I remember from a movie somewhere. That'd be awesome. There's so many more questions that I want to ask, and I know that the club members have some more things that they want to talk about. But we're at the end of our time for today. John, would you come back and be our guest again?
Oh yeah, glad to. I mean, I'm not always the, my conversation is kind of a more quiet guy. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the hour and a half with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate you coming,
Great
John.
fun.
Gentlemen,
like I
if you've
say,
got some
you
other
can get
questions for John, why don't you go ahead and pop them in now before we jet off there.
Hey, John, one question I like to ask blenders like you who know their craft. Is there a non-Wilke tobacco that sometimes you like? I'm just curious because you sell a lot of non-Wilke tobaccos on your side as well.
Yeah. I used to like, I haven't got it in a while, McCraney's Red Ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Yeah.
I like that so much. I got a case of, me and a buddy split it. We got 50 tins and split it up. So I just actually finished my last 10 last year on my 60th birthday. So,
Well, John, you should talk to Brian Levine because Brian Levine's go-to tobacco is that one. Yeah, and I got a quick question about that blood orange with Perique. What is the name of that blend in your store?
that's Lizzie Borden Blood Red Virginia.
Thank
And
you,
then
sir.
Then we also have a Blood Red English. So it's a little more, English is a little stronger. So we did that, but you still taste the Blood Red and you get the English. So it's
Is that the one that Jim Amish helps you blend? Is that the one?
Yeah. Jim gives
Thank
me
you,
quite
John.
a few different advice points when it comes to tobacco. So that's why sometimes it can take me a while to, it's like, I think you need a little of this. Yeah. But I
Say,
think
John, do you does Wilke have a blend that you would classify as a codger blend in the realm of Prince Albert or Sir Walter Raleigh, things like that?
I don't know if we do have a blend that would fit into that category. I'll have to look at that, but no, I don't think off the top of my head, no, I don't think so.
Food for thought.
That is, yeah. But next time back, maybe I'll get a sample out to everybody and we can, if you got ideas, what you like to have, turn them in, and we'll come up with something, and we can sample at the next show.
Let's do it. Let's
That's
do
my
it.
last question I want to ask, and that is, what shows are you planning on being at this year?
I do think I'm going to go to Vegas. We wanted to go to Chicago this year, but with the Perique shortage, I was like, I'm going to go to a show, and I don't know when I'm going to get product, so it was kind of but we'll probably be hitting definitely Vegas this year, and maybe a few other shows.
Good deal. We'll see you there then, John.
All righty.
Yeah, I've got my tickets and my hotel and everything all booked, so I'm definitely going to be there. So that'll be a great place for us to kind of connect.
Good.
All right. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you once again for a great meeting. It was great to meet John and Tim. I want to just thank you again for recommending somebody that I really enjoy listening to. I can't wait to maybe go and hang out in Vegas. I'll buy the first round when there's only 3 of us there, and then we'll let the other people as they gather. And that's it. So the next virtual Pipe Club meeting is in 2 weeks, and Amu Torres from the Pipe and Tobacco, the Cigar and Tobacco Lounge, will be the host at that one, and then I don't know what's coming up after that, but we'll let you know. In the meantime, as always, be as safe as you can. Keep your hands washed and keep yourself safe and healthy, because I love you guys and I want to see you again. So there you have it. Be well, everybody.
Thank you, John.
Be well.
Take care, everybody.
Nice meeting you,
Thanks,
folks.
John.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week, everybody.
Take
Great
care.
meeting.
Bye,
Great
everyone.
meeting. A lot
Bye,
of fun. Good meeting.